Back in the 1970s, after the hippie years and the psychedelic revolution, there was a sudden explosion of religion in Europe and America. But it wasn't the traditional world faiths that were growing. Instead, sociologists and TV reporters started talking about NRMs, new religious movements, young ambitious groups that had suddenly sprung up out of nowhere. Over the last half-century, many of them have died away. Others, like Scientology, have grown and made lots of celebrity converts. Older groups, such as the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, have continued to flourish too. What would Jesus make of the NRMs? A lot of them, particularly in the 70s, were based on Hindu thinking. It was a time when India was seen as a very spiritual place, and groups with an Indian messiah like the Maharishi, the Guru Maharaji and Swami Prabhupada attracted a lot of attention. Most of them had a particular technique for escaping from Maya and achieving enlightenment in the way we described earlier in this session. But most of them believed you could do it in one lifetime. This was the 70s, and people were in a hurry. Well, we've already looked at what Jesus might have said to them. But what about Scientology? That was a real mixture of Indian, Christian and science fiction ideas, quite unlike anything else that was around. What would Jesus have said to the Scientologists? Well, Scientology's basic claim is that inside you and me is a Thetan, a powerful being who helped to create the universe several trillion years ago. In fact, you don't have a Thetan, you are one. The Thetan is the real you, and it will go on from incarnation to incarnation, moving from body to body as the centuries go by. The Thetan has awesome powers, but unfortunately most of us have forgotten our powers and so lost our identity. Scientology is a way of clearing your brain and getting in touch with your superpowers once again, through sessions of auditing with a special machine, which gradually dissolve the engrams, the mental blocks that stop you reaching your true potential. It's a very powerful, attractive idea for people who basically want a religion of personal power without God. And maybe that's why Scientology has managed to attract so many adherents who are top-level personalities in the worlds of film, music and business. But does it work? I think Jesus would have said no. He'd have pointed to the frequency with which high-level Scientologists regularly drop out of the movement, to the children of leaders who've become bitter critics of their church, to the uncaring way in which Scientology simply cuts off contact abruptly with people whom it sees as dangerous, to the complete lack of evidence that Scientology is producing superhumans at all. Jesus would probably have sympathised with their search, but his concern for integrity and truth would have led him to dismiss the idea and its results in real life. Then there are groups that use Christian ideas but twist them a bit. Some groups add to Christianity, as the Mormons do when they claim that God gave a new revelation to a young man in America in the 19th century, including a book which contains the fullness of the everlasting gospel, in a way the Bible doesn't. Then there's the group called Moonies, followers of a recently deceased Korean millionaire. They have a book called Divine Principle, which they claim corrects and completes the Bible. Other groups try to reinterpret Christianity. When the Jehovah's Witnesses began in America in the 1870s, they believed that they'd worked out from the Bible the date of the Battle of Armageddon and the end of the world. They've revised that prediction several times since, and indeed since their last effort, 1976, they appear to have given up trying. What would Jesus have thought about these attempts to change his message? Not much, I'd suggest. He and his first followers believed that he had come to earth as God's final word to humans, the total fulfillment of everything that had been promised beforehand. Why on earth would you need to add anything to a message that was already complete?